The blinking blue light on your LG Flatron monitor indicates it's receiving power, but failing to boot. This problem is common in models from the early 2000s, typically caused by failing capacitors in the power supply unit. These monitors are legacy hardware as of 2025, but they are still repairable. Electrolytic capacitors in the power supply unit degrade over time due to heat, voltage stress, and age. They dry out after 10 to 15 years of use. When these capacitors fail, they cause voltage instability, preventing the inverter circuit from activating the backlight. This is a common issue with an 80 to 90% success rate when repaired. To diagnose and fix the blinking blue light issue on your LG Flatron monitor, you'll need several basic tools. Let's go through them one by one. First, a screwdriver to open the monitor case and access the internal components safely. Next, a multimeter to test voltages and check capacitance in the power supply unit. You'll need a soldering iron to attach new capacitors securely to the circuit board. A desoldering pump or wick is essential to remove old capacitors cleanly from the board. Finally, replacement capacitors, specifically electrolytic ones such as 470 microfarad at 25 volts, to swap in for faulty ones. Safety precautions are crucial when working with electronics. Use an anti-static mat and wrist strap to prevent static electricity from damaging sensitive components. Always discharge capacitors using a resistor to safely drain any stored energy before touching them. With these tools and safety precautions in place, you'll be ready to diagnose and repair the blinking blue light issue safely. First, safely disconnect the monitor by unplugging the power cable. Then, remove the screws from the back panel to open the case and access the internal components. Now, examine the power board visually. Look closely for capacitors that appear bulging, leaking, or discolored. These are common signs of failure. Next, use a multimeter set to capacitance mode to test each capacitor. Connect the leads to the capacitor terminals and note the reading. Compare this measurement to the capacitor's rated value printed on it. Significant deviations indicate the capacitor has failed. Safety is crucial when repairing electronics. Always unplug the monitor completely before starting any work to prevent electrical hazards. After unplugging, discharge the capacitors using a resistor to safely drain stored electricity and avoid dangerous shocks. Protect the monitor's sensitive components by working on an anti-static mat, which prevents damage from static electricity buildup. Finally, ensure you're working in a well-lit area with good ventilation to see clearly and avoid overheating during the repair process. After replacing the capacitors, begin reassembly by carefully placing the circuit board back into its original position inside the monitor case. Before fully closing the case, test the monitor. Plug it in and power it on. The blue power light should now be steady, not blinking, indicating successful repair. If the blinking blue light persists, do not close the case yet. Double-check your work. Inspect soldering for cold joints or bridges, and verify capacitor values match the originals exactly. The future of monitor repair looks promising with the global shift toward circular economy practices. These initiatives, driven by e-waste regulations, are making it more common to repair older monitors like the LG Flatron instead of discarding them. While new LED and OLED technologies advance, DIY repairs are expected to grow significantly. Experts predict a 20 to 30% increase in these repairs by 2030, extending monitor lifespans from the typical 10 years to 20 years or more through proactive maintenance. Choosing repair over replacement has significant environmental benefits. It can reduce global monitor e-waste by 10 to 15%, addressing the 50 million tons generated annually. This approach not only saves money, but also supports sustainability efforts worldwide.